I'm Gabrielle.
And I'm Sheila.
And I'm Latrice.
And we say again, welcome to Konnect Up. Well, today we will be diving into a subject that many of us deal with, and we will be focusing in on rejection and abandonment. Are they akin to each other? Can you have one without the other? How do you know you're suffering with either the effects, and how can we move forward? Are you ladies ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let me stop for a minute also and say our LaFay is not with us today.
Yes,
So
we
you
miss
see,
her.
so you see three of us, but she is still a part of us. So we wish her well in her journey right now, and we
Yes.
look forward to seeing her back with us soon. So
Yes.
again, we love you, LaFay.
We
Love you.
So you ladies, I had a whole long conversation with someone the other day, and it focused on rejection and abandonment, and it just brought up a lot of questions to me as I was trying to answer her and how to deal with some of the things that she was displaying or talking about. And one of the things I found interesting was her thing was, I know I have some issues, whereas you guys would think that's a problem, how I deal with certain things. For me, it's normal. I don't even know I have the problem. I don't know that it is an issue because it's my normal how I deal with people, the way I react, the way I respond. So I thought, well, that's something we probably need to put on the table that some of us don't even realize. I know I've shared before, I was crazy. I didn't know I had some of these things going on in my life. But I did. And so I began to want to look back up and see what actually is rejection. What actually is abandonment? Are they the same? Are they different? Are they, I say, akin to one another? Can you have one without the other? So I'm going to let you guys dive in on let's start with rejection. How would you define rejection? We know Sheila got the definition.
I don't have it pulled up. So y'all better get it because I did.
I'll just give my thought process about rejection as it
Okay.
relates to the definition of it. It is when somebody refuses you or they don't accept you.
Okay.
Whether it's they don't accept who you are or they don't accept how you are. Or maybe
Right.
it's the easiest definition is when we say, they don't like me, but I don't know why.
Right.
You know, that's an experience that we've had that feels like rejection. Or, in the church where we say, I went to go tell somebody and they didn't receive me. Or, or they didn't like the way I said it or like what I said. So all of those things can be defined as rejection. And thank you, Holy Spirit, because I think that most people define the rejection in different ways depending on how they've experienced it.
Yes.
Depending on what happened that caused them to feel that. I think rejection is an emotion.
It is.
It's something that we don't just experience it, but we feel it as well.
Yes.
Right. And so it's that thing that becomes embedded in us sometimes. And sometimes we don't even know we live from the place of rejection. And we almost begin to expect to be rejected.
Yes.
We almost begin to feel like, I already know they're not going to accept me. I already know they're not going to like me. Even if it's in a new place with new people,
we still
because of
have
our experience.
I think because of what you just said, it carries on in our life, and sometimes we don't know that we're dealing with that spirit, but since y'all thought I had it pulled up, I did pull it up. It says the dismissing or refusal of a proposal or an idea or a person.
Right.
That's what it says. But rejection is so deep in so many ways that, I think people just learn to cope with it, and that's who they are. Because I had some people in my life that deal with rejection, dealing with rejection, been dealing with rejection all their lives. And I honestly, this is the honest God truth, is that I have a big family. And I have lots of cousins, and I have 2 sisters, and so I really had no experience. I mean, I probably did, but I didn't really not to that extent. I guess I didn't recognize it. And then when this person came in my life, I was like, what's wrong? I never in my whole life. Yes, I never in my whole life. So rejection is deep, and it runs deep in our lives and people's lives, and they don't know how to get out of that spirit, and it really is a spirit.
It is,
and it like we said, and I think, like you said, go and coincide is kin,
Right.
rejection, abandonment, orphan, all those spirits run hand in
Right.
hand
Right.
with each other.
Right.
And it's just like we gotta bring deliverance
To
Yeah.
this.
to
To this,
people
yeah.
that's dealing with
In the
that.
first place is actually being able to recognize
Yes.
that this is what I'm actually dealing with. Because
Yes.
we'll call it something else. We'll say, oh no, I'm just angry.
Oh, that's
But
how
in
I
actu-
am.
Or that's how I am, but in actuality, it's really, we feel rejected.
Yeah.
Or we've been abandoned. Now,
Yeah.
I agree with Sheila that it does run hand in hand.
Yes.
I think that there are times when some people haven't experienced abandonment. Like Sheila may not have experienced abandonment, but that moment of rejection is like, oh, so we know that rejection can happen
Right.
separate from abandonment, but a lot of times if you suffer from abandonment, you
They
suffer
suffer
from
from
rejection
rejection.
because abandonment is basically somebody leaving you for whatever reason.
Yes.
They
Right.
rejected you. They
Yes.
dismissed you.
Right.
You know, so
Yes.
I think in both sides, you know, it can
Yes.
happen together. They
Yeah.
are akin.
Yeah.
But there are instances where we can experience something that we've never experienced before and it not be akin to.
And it not be against
Yeah.
it, yeah. I think too, I think the biggest thing when we start talking about rejection is, as I was reading, and as I was trying to go back and see some stuff I saw, was that it's an interpersonal thing, like you relate to, it's the emotions of it, the deep-seated emotions of it, and how if you experience it, then it can throw you into moments of sadness and depression, and I think y'all, I remember just recently, I called you guys and was like, hey, hold me accountable because I pulled off into this place. And I remember I said, it was a feeling that I finally recognized it came with a feeling. It was an emotion, and I felt myself sinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time for that. And now, as I begin to read this and talk to her and come back and talk to you guys, as I'm sitting there even now, I'm realizing that this is what it's coming from. It pushes you into that sad place. One point I remember saying to Chris, I don't know if I'm depressed. I don't know. What is this? But this last time, I'm so grateful that I was able to tap into it. It came with an emotion. It wasn't just me drawing away.
Yeah.
It was attached to a feeling, and I was able to identify it this time and realizing that, and I like to share personal stuff, but realizing that it is rejection and that it came from things that I had experienced in my past, whether it be through church, leadership, whether it be through family, whether it be through people that you thought were your friend, whether it be through, of course, I've been out the front leading ministry for a while,
Right.
and that's a big one because you're out front trying to lead, and when somebody rejects what God is giving you, take it personal, like
Take it
you
personal.
reject it, but it's a rejection, it's a reflection on me, and it can come so many ways. It can come from your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the worst one is the interpersonal one, where there are people that are close to us and there are emotional ties.
Yeah, and people who we feel like they should love us, like your mama and your dad
Yes,
and your sisters
yes,
and your
yes.
brothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why don't they want me? Why don't they,
Yes.
why don't they see something in me?
Yes.
And that initial place is rejection that we may not recognize it as that,
Yeah.
but it plants this seed in
Oh,
us
I was
that
just
grows,
gonna say it's a
and
seed,
every
yeah.
single time it happens, that seed
Yes.
is watered and it grows some more. And
Yes.
it's like, okay, wait, it's time to pluck it up.
Because listen to me, because I wouldn't have known. I'm glad that it came out now as far as what it was, because I never looked at it as that. I don't think that any of us escapes some form of rejection through our life. I think if
Right.
you live,
Yes.
Long
You
enough.
have
you
experience.
have
Might
experienced.
not know what it was, but it was.
Yes, some form of rejection that causes you to react or respond a certain way.
Right.
And the fear of being rejected is a beast within itself.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Because that fear, it will silence you. That fear will make
gosh.
you not want to do things that you know God has gifted you to do. Not take jobs that you know you're good at. Not walk in leadership when you know you're a leader. It will literally cause you to shrink back.
It'll
Yeah.
shrink
And then you begin
Yeah.
to forfeit things that are really yours.
Yours. Come on.
What about just minding your own business, ladies, and you on your game, and then you say something and somebody give you the side eye, and you be thinking, oh, did I say something?
Exactly.
Come
It
on.
could be something small.
I mean,
as that.
yes,
Yeah.
because then right then that seed of rejection
It's
came in.
planted.
If you don't deal with that, that seed
Oh,
grows
my God.
up to be a beast in you,
And you know
and
what?
you're dealing with it
Come
in
on
your
now.
head,
Come on.
and nobody else know that you're dealing with it.
Yes.
But now you think every time you say something,
Somebody
somebody
looking
looking
at
at
you
you like
And
you're gonna say
you
something.
doing what I said I did, I withdraw.
Yes.
You shrink back. You
Yeah.
go silent. That's
Go
me. I go
silent.
silent.
Yeah.
I go silent. And when I go silent, baby, it's silent. It's like turn off the radio, the TV, turn the lights out outside. So, but that's how we do. It's like everything just shuts down.
Enemies.
Oh my God.
What about John 10:10 says that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
Jesus said, but I came that
Yes.
you have life, but not just life, more abundant life,
Right.
but the enemy,
Right.
the enemy of our soul comes
Right.
to steal, kill,
Yes.
and steal from us.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And it's so funny because he'll kill things in us. He'll steal from us, thereby destroying us.
Yes.
He do his job
Yes.
completely.
Yes.
He does it so well. you
Yes.
know? But because we're in that place of rejection, and we just got that wound,
Yeah.
we don't even see it.
And we don't even see it. I'm
We don't
telling
even
you
see
that. When I was talking to the young lady the other day, she was like, but, I mean, I know that sounds crazy. She was describing some of the stuff that I know I do. And she was like, but I think that's just normal. Like, you just need to be able to pull away. But yet, while you're pulled away, you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. You're not reaching your destiny. You're not serving your purpose.
Right.
All this stuff that
You're not planning, you're not preparing.
You're not
you just shut down.
Go into a dark place is
Yeah.
really what
It's a
happens.
safety place. for us.
Yeah, it's just like
It's a coping mechanism.
Okay.
It's a
Yes,
coping mechanism
yes,
for
yes,
many
yes.
of us. So I think that we have to begin to recognize rejection for what it is. And
How it shows up
and
in
how
our
it
life.
shows up, because it can show up differently for each of us, and
Yeah.
how we respond to that
Yeah.
is what matters. You know, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to accept everything I do. You may reject me, but I refuse at this point to let it throw me into a dark place.
Right. And the thing is, when people reject us, their rejection of us is really not a reflection of us.
No.
Their rejection most times is something going on within them.
Yes.
And I immediately thought about that when you said, you're talking and somebody look at you with the side eye.
Immediately.
They side eye
Yeah.
you because of something they thought, because of
Right.
something they feel.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily because we said anything
Yeah.
wrong,
Right.
but because we
But
saw it.
because
we
and
saw
the
it.
seed is in us already. And you know, like
Yeah.
this too happens. It's like we can be in a huddle just talking about whatever we're talking about, and somebody over across the room think we're talking about them, but because that seed is in
It's
them,
in them.
baby, ain't
You
nobody
know
thought
what?
about
When that seed
you.
is in
Ain't
us,
nobody thought
It
about
makes
you.
you
Ain't
think
talking
that
about
people
you.
are always got something to say about you, like you are the center of the world and their attention.
Everybody.
Not even recognizing that, no, I'm taking this so personal because something is working inside of me.
Yes.
There's something wrong.
Yes.
And let's just say it. It's
Yes.
something wrong. And it's not, when we say something wrong, it's not, I did something wrong.
Right.
It could be
Something
that
has
something,
occurred.
yes,
Yes.
that has made something wrong in me.
That
Yes.
misaligned.
Come
the
on.
alignment that God has for us. It threw
Yeah.
us off of our alignment.
This is
Yeah.
so good because we are exposing the enemy today.
Come on.
We
Yeah.
are exposing
Yeah.
the devil.
Yeah.
And, but would you not agree though? It's up to me
It is.
to deal with that
It
in me.
is.
Yes.
I
Only
have
you.
to. I can't
Only
expect
you.
you to come take care of that problem in me.
Exactly.
I have to recognize it for what it is and expose the devil
Only
in my
you.
life.
In my,
Nobody else can
I
do
almost
it.
got up.
But the thing is, like you said, only you, not just I.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You
Only
can
you
call
can
it
do
out
it.
in a person as many times, and you
Yes.
can say, I'm exposing it, and I rebuke it, but guess what? If I don't understand, I don't acknowledge that, you know what? This is the thing
Yes.
that's operating in me. This is the place that I've been living for. Then nothing is going to happen except,
That's
baby,
right.
you're just going to be sweating
And I
and
got
throwing oil and slanging hands and praying, and they still going to feel rejected.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's-
still going to walk around feeling like, don't nobody love me.
and-
Everybody
all
loves me.
that, yes.
All of that.
And that's how you view the world around you, but it's because of what's in you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you're saying, that when all this is going on around us, we tend to think it could be nothing, but we think it's something because of what's in us. That's how we begin.
Yes.
That's how we begin to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm just grateful. Like I said, I'm resting on the rejection. Gonna get to the abandonment. I know they tie in, but I just figured out that was my thing. You
Yeah.
know, I just
Yeah.
began to realize
Yeah.
that I couldn't even explain when I talked to y'all that I had this feeling this time that I just knew it was off. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this is crazy. Like, no, I refused. And then, and we're not even talking about that because we're going to go to our next session. But just being able to call and say, hey,
I got this going on.
I got this
Yeah.
going on.
And you know what? Normally, when we're in that place, we won't call
We
anybody.
won't do
No.
that.
We isolate.
That's
But you gotta
instead of
want
inviting people in.
Yeah, you gotta want out.
You got to.
No,
you
you
gotta
gotta
walk
walk
out.
out.
You
You
Let
gotta
me
walk
tell you,
out.
And you
the
gotta walk
enemy
out.
will
Yeah.
make you stay in there for a long time if you don't find enough guts and grits to get up and
Yes,
I want out of this
yes,
and start
yes,
opening up your mouth and
yes,
saying
yes,
something.
Yeah,
yes.
and you gotta say
Because if
something
you
to
don't-
somebody.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not enough to just sit in your house. Oh, I just talked to the Lord. Sometimes the Lord want to use somebody to talk to you.
And what I
Yeah.
say on one of our shows, the right somebody.
The right somebody.
Come on, the right
Because
somebody.
everybody don't want to see you get delivered, let me tell you.
Right, because some people will walk you back into that room,
That's
into
what I
that
was
dark
gonna
place.
say.
But if you talk to the, like you said, the right somebody, you can walk out of
You
it.
can walk out of it, and that's gonna be key. So I'm just wanting to encourage everybody that you can come out for one, and for two, recognize rejection for what it took a long time for me to recognize that that's what this is. I just thought, like you said, this is how I am, and I just don't want to be bothered.
I just see things the way I see
Oh,
them.
I see
Yeah.
what I see them, and everybody's gonna do what they want to do. This is what I'm gonna do. But I found out that no, you got an issue on your hand, and you can't get out
And
of
we
it.
thank God that it's an issue that He can
It's
deliver us
yes, and we don't have to stay in that
We do not have
place.
to stay
Come
there.
on, ladies, come out of that place. You don't have to stay there any
No,
longer. Today is your day.
no,
Today.
And there's nothing wrong with saying, I got an issue.
I got an issue.
The moment that we say it out of our mouth
I
is the
think-
moment that literally deliverance begins to be
Yes.
activated for us.
Like,
I got it. I just dare y'all who watching to say, I got an
I
issue.
got it.
I got an issue.
I got an issue.
And
My God.
look here,
But I don't want
and
to
I want out.
Yes,
I want out.
That's the difference is wanting out or listen or want to stay in that place so that you can have a pity party.
And get the
Can I
attention.
tell you that people these days are not showing up to your pity party.
Girl.
They say,
Come
come on, baby, get over there. You are 50 years old. Come on,
Come on,
get
let's go.
out. You know, deliver your own self. I remember,
Yes.
oh my God, this woman of God said this to me one day. She said, Sheila, deliver your own self. You know what?
do
You
people
can't.
say? Position, heal thy own self.
Everybody is not coming to you to bring
No.
deliverance because they don't care whether you get delivered or not.
Yeah.
But baby, you gotta find it somewhere in your heart, somewhere deep down.
Yes.
Get your own self together.
Yes.
My God. I
I
love
get the
in the book of Ruth, it says about Naomi, it said one day she got herself together.
Got herself together.
She got herself
She
together.
got.
She got.
Yes.
Herself. It didn't say one day the Lord spoke to her. It said one day she got herself together. And
Yes.
she got up from that place. You know her story. Her husband died. Her
Yes,
son died.
son.
And she could have been depressed. She could have been down. It said one day she got
could've
herself
stayed
together.
there,
You
but
know
she
what?
got herself
There's
together.
nothing
got
like
herself
your
and made a
eyes
decision.
coming open for yourself. There's nothing
nothing
like
like
that. That
it.
you wake up one day and I'm thinking, oh, this is
Because
over.
when it happens for you, for yourself from inside of you,
Mhm.
nobody can take that from you.
And they can't take credit for it.
And they take
They can't say,
credit.
oh, I was the one that did that. No,
Can't nobody take
No,
that
this
from
was me and
you.
God.
Yeah.
And even if it comes from within you and God says somebody to help you, it still had to come from
Yeah,
within
you gotta be willing.
You had to
come
make
out
a
of that
decision. When we
place.
make our own decision that this is what I'm going to do, this is who I am, this is what I want, it lasts.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
I didn't do all
Oh
the
my
work
God.
for you,
It don't.
Yeah. And you know, when it comes from within you, you pretty much made a decision.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mentally, you decided
Yes,
that
yes.
I made up my mind.
Mhm.
This is not
Yeah.
where I'm going to end. This is not how I'm going to end. This is not it.
Yeah. And it's just like your children, having your children when you just keep on giving them and keep on handing them something, keep on bailing them out, keep on giving them, handing out money. But when they get that job themselves
Oh.
and have to work for their own money, they spend
Right.
it differently.
Mhm.
Than when you just keep on
You're
giving it
handing
to
it to
them.
them.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
different.
that's a good example.
That's a perfect example. Perfect example. The other thing I'm gonna roll into it because I was looking from again was the abandonment issue. One of the things I saw with the two is that the abandonment itself is a strong feeling. The fear of abandonment issue arises when individual has a strong fear of losing loved ones.
Yes.
Losing that person. Now I can see how, if I look at that now again, like I did earlier, I can see how that ties back into rejection. Because if you reject me, that there can come a fear of me, okay, now I'm gonna lose them.
Mhm.
They're gonna walk away from me. So it begins to tie itself into one another. And so the abandonment issue of the fear of someone losing someone, we hear that a lot for young kids. And you know, I deal with foster care, so a lot of times, you know, some young people are born into being given away or handed off, and they never know why. And so for your life, you're dealing with
Abandonment.
an abandonment
And you know what?
issue.
You can see something that looks like what you've been through.
Yes.
And you're triggered.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even know why you're triggered, or you can encounter something and you get this feeling, like you talking about the feeling, and you know something is off, and don't even realize, oh, this is a trigger of something I've experienced before. Abandonment.
Abandonment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even when you think you healed, can I raise my hand?
Come on now.
I had a moment in the last year
Yes.
where I experienced abandonment, and I kept saying, no, I'm just angry. No, my feelings just hurt. And when the Holy Spirit began to talk to me, and really, when I was in a place for Him to show it to me, no, baby, this is a trigger of abandonment.
Right.
Because you've experienced this before. You experienced it from your birth.
Right.
In different areas of your life, at different times, you've experienced them. But you've literally experienced people saying, no, I don't want you. No, you don't belong to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was
And
like
losing that,
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
And here's the thing so for me, when I was born, my birth father was like, no, I don't want her. No, she don't belong to me. No, she ain't mine. I never knew that was abandonment until somebody told me it was abandonment.
Right.
So I never had that relationship, growing up. And then I met him, and we had we have a good relationship now, but it still wasn't,
Right.
So then I have this experience, and it's like something just triggered and said, oh, you came into a relationship with him, but you didn't get over what was done. Because you didn't even know how to deal with it then, so you triggered.
Right.
Listen, it was abandonment.
Yeah, and
it was the loss. It was everything that comes with abandonment.
Yes.
It was the rejection.
Yes.
And I was like, and so sometimes, y'all, we're sitting in a situation and we may not know what to call it, but if we look at it for real, it's probably
You can feel
that abandonment
I
and
want
rejection.
everybody to really listen to what we're saying today, because like I said, for me, for the first time, I realized it was rejection. If you had asked me, I would feel there were times I didn't feel supported, and I feel like people didn't come through like they should. But when I went back and looked at it,
It's abandonment.
for me, it's rejection.
Yeah.
Okay, rejection.
Yeah. Now I didn't care if they left because they got on my nerves, but it was rejection.
Yeah.
My dad was never around, so yeah, you do go back into abandonment because he just walked away.
Right.
So you do go back into that and everything, but just understanding what those things are when they come, and that we don't have to stay there. Like we say it all the time, find the right people, baby, connect up to the right people, because
Connect up to the right.
being able to have someone to call and say, hey, look, this is what I need, or hey, look, I recognize I'm not hiding anymore.
Right.
This is what's going on with me.
Yeah.
And I realized I need help, because I would find myself in a place, and because like the young lady was saying to me, it seemed normal. It was normal to me. I didn't think that was wrong, man. I just want to be bothered.
Listen,
Because
it was
that's
normal
where-
to shut down.
Yeah, because
It was normal to, and I be saying, oh, I just need my me time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But my
that's
time
what,
might last for 6 months.
but listen,
Right.
but it's because that's your norm.
Right.
You don't think about it being a spirit or anything that overtakes you, because this is just how I lived my whole life.
My
This is
whole
how it's
life.
been. My whole life.
But how about we don't have to live the rest of our life
Amen.
like
The
that?
rest
Yeah. Hey, I want to read
Come on,
something.
how about the best is ahead of us?
Yes.
Because now we recognize, oh, that's abandonment.
what that is.
Oh, that's rejection.
Yeah.
Oh, I can be delivered from that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have to live with that. And I know with the way we say it may sound like we're saying, oh, it's just so easy.
No,
it's a
not.
process.
Yes.
But guess what? You can get through the process with God and the right people.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a process, but like you're saying, we can definitely,
Yeah.
we can get through it. And our intentions are never, and we try to always give examples,
Right.
because our intentions are never to make you think it's just like that.
Yeah,
Because
right.
it's never
Oh,
just
it's
like
a
that.
process.
Because listen, if there are things on top of things on top of things that have happened, and now we live from this place, and we can't undo those things, but we
Right.
we can undo the residue and the effect of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to affect us like it did before.
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is, you can't change that they rejected you.
No.
That's
You
right.
can't undo that they abandoned
That
you.
they left.
But I can change now how I respond to it,
Yes.
how I live beyond it. I don't have to live from this place of, oh, I already know they're not going to accept me.
And how
Babe, I walk in rooms now like, I'm here.
And God take
I'm
it
here.
over. Let me just read this, because when we decided we was gonna do this, and I remember last year one of my friends sent me this article, and I'm telling you, I never heard of the spirit of abandonment. I always just rejection, because you know you get. I thought, and I texted this once to send me that article again. Listen to this. In this little article, this paragraph says, over the course of my life, I've struggled with an orphan abandonment mentality and did not know how to receive a spirit of adoption. Not having a father in my early years made this struggle real, and it has taken all of Holy Spirit and the truth of God's word to help me understand that no matter what I've never rejected my God, abandoned, unwanted, or alone. Now I know I can confidently call on my Father God, and He will rush to my aid every time and help me walk in my identity and purpose.
Yeah, because you can't if you don't. If you're walking in that, you can't walk in.
Not in the right way.
Right.
Because some of us say, I'm walking in my purpose, I know my destiny, and you know what, you might know what your destiny is, you might know what your purpose is, but how can you fully embrace it and do everything you're supposed to do the way you're supposed to do it if you're walking in there?
Because you got these little people on the inside of you talking, pulling you back, and saying, but they left you. They did. They did. You know what I'm saying?
They're not going to show up. They're not going to support you. Who wants to hear you?
Yes, and I want to hit us with one more thing, because sometimes because I know for me, I'm always going back to childhood and how things occur there and how long they last. But let's just be real. There's some abandonment issues that occur in our adult.
Oh God!
Whether you go to divorce, whether it be through
whatever, anything,
ministry,
you know,
there's some things that hit us as adults
that
just knocked us off our feet.
Oh God! Knocked the breath out of you.
Hey, baby, all my breath.
And you know what? Sent you straight into the place of shutdown, in isolation, in silence. And made you question who you were, how you were. Did God really call me? Is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? Well, maybe I just need to do something different. Well, maybe I need to just change my focus. All of that. Because something hit our life.
And thinking sometimes that you did something wrong and you didn't do anything.
Right.
Absolutely right.
And it's nothing wrong with you in saying that. Going back and assessing yourself to see where you. I'm even bad about. So, okay, this is what do you feel like? Do you see anything that I could have did different?
Right.
Anything? But there are times that you do that over and over again. You still keep doing the same thing when you know it wasn't you.
It wasn't you. Yeah. And you will put
you're
yourself in a place where you want to take on the blame for something
that you
really didn't do. Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. So
because sometimes it's easy to blame yourself. That you just let people have the blame for whatever it is they do.
Yes.
And guess what? That adds stress to us. That pushes us further into that place and dealing with that thing of abandonment.
Right.
Almost to the point that we become the rejector.
Right.
So we've been abandoned, so I'm gonna reject everybody.
We do.
And I'm gonna reject everything because I'm gonna protect myself. It's not gonna happen to me again. I'm not gonna let anybody get close again. You know?
Right.
And so we don't even understand how sometimes we become the thing that was done to us.
We do.
Lord have mercy. We become the person.
And then we're projecting onto somebody else.
What was done to us.
And it's not always intentional, it's because we're trying to have a safe place for us.
Right.
But unintentionally now, you have projected onto somebody else.
Yes.
What was projected onto you.
And what we accepted. We really didn't realize we accepted it at the moment, but because we did it, because we soaked through it, you know, we just, I'm just being quiet, I'm just pulling away, because we did all of that. Then who's missing out on something that we're supposed to be giving to them? We're supposed to be doing with them.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be collaborating with them, but we're like, no, I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
No, I don't get into that.
You will never get in that place again.
I'm looking at sister, well, I ain't fooling up with them.
That's what I was saying in a minute. Nope, I'm not fooling up with them. But you know what? It's that thing of abandonment and rejection that literally causes us, as we said earlier, to miss out.
Miss out.
It's not just the other people who are missing out on what we can give them. We're then missing out on what new people that God brings into our life, or people He restores to our life, can give us, but we can't get it.
Right.
That's right.
We can't, because I'm not gonna let you do that to me.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Oh no.
One example I want to give, I was reading, and it was saying how in the physical, if somebody's throwing punches, kicking and scratching, it's a normal response for us to draw back, to move back, to swat back, to just try to keep away from us. And it was saying, well, look at that from an emotional standpoint. If you're used to people always jabbing at you and hurting you and kicking at you, you know, in the emotional realm, like abandonment, like we're talking about rejecting you, and it's hurtful. even emotionally, we do the same thing we do physically. We drop back, we pull back.
Mhm.
Whatever,
We
that's a
disconnect.
natural response
Yeah.
because we're trying to protect ourselves.
Mhm.
When it's emotional, we kind of look at, what's wrong with them?
Yeah.
Well, there's something going on and now we need to heal to
Mhm.
get where we need to be.
That's
But my thing is for each person is that we can heal.
We can.
Yes, we
We
can.
can.
It's gonna take work.
It takes
Yeah.
work. It took work for me. And it didn't have, I didn't call you guys the day of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of assessed it and looked at it and thought about it, what the freak is going on, you
Mhm.
know? And I guess maybe several days later, maybe in a week later, I said, okay, I have got to be honest that this is the place that I'm in and I need to be able to deal with it. And I don't want to go back to that place
Right.
because I got too much to do right
Because
now.
every time we go
But the
back,
enemy will want you to.
Yeah.
So you can't do what you're supposed
Yes.
to be
because
doing.
every time we go back, the harder it is to come
Come
out.
back out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah, every
thankful
time.
that we have been able to come back out.
Thank you,
That we didn't
Jesus.
get stuck.
Oh my
And
God.
if you're listening to us today, the thing
Yes.
is, you are not stuck.
That's
You're hearing
right.
this for
A
a
reason.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hearing this for a
Because
reason.
this is the moment
Yeah.
that God is saying you can come out.
Yes.
That
Come
He's
out.
saying
Yeah.
you don't have to stay there.
Mhm.
Yes, you've been there. We acknowledge it. We acknowledge you were hurt. We
Yes.
acknowledge you were rejected. That you were
Yes.
abandoned.
Mhm.
But you don't have
You
to
don't have to
stay
stay.
in the
Don't
consequences
stay.
of the stuff that happened.
Yes.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
it's so good to know. It's almost like, thank you, Holy Spirit. God is giving you permission
Yes.
to come out.
Give your own self permission.
As of
Come on.
Give
today.
your own self permission to come
Yes.
out.
As
Come
of
on
today.
out. Come on out of the
My
cave.
God.
Whatever
I
you've
feel
been
I just dare
hiding
somebody
in,
to say,
come
I'm
on.
coming out of this
Yes.
thing.
Today.
Come on, say, I speak that over my life. I'm coming out.
Today.
I'm not going to stay in
I'm
this
taking
place.
my steps today.
Come on. This stuff that has
Yes.
held me
Yeah.
bound, not holding me bound anymore.
In fact, we pull you out.
Come on.
We pull you out. By the Spirit of the living God, we
Yes,
pull you
Lord.
out of
In
that
the name of
place.
Jesus.
You cannot stay there.
Yes.
Today, make a decision in your
Yes.
own heart,
Yes.
with your own mouth, that
Yeah.
I'm coming out of this place.
And
if
don't be
you
afraid to say it.
And yes, and if you
No.
need to
Whoa.
call your sister, call whoever you need to call, but make it the right person to call.
Make God the right person.
All the right person.
And get yourself out of that place, because
Yeah.
you got things to do,
Yeah.
places to go, and people to talk to,
Yes.
and
now is
a
the
whole
time.
life to live.
Yes, and now is the time for that. You know,
Yes.
and like I'm saying, if you listen to this today and you get to hear this message, whether it's on replay or whatever, then this message is for you.
For you, for
Yeah.
you.
Receive it today.
This message
We
is
talking
for
to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Look, we've talked to us. Now
Yes.
we're
Come
talking
on.
to you.
We
Yes.
talk to us.
We
We
talked
walk
to
through the
us.
process.
We're walking through these
Yeah.
processes, and
Yeah.
now we're sharing that with you, and that's what's most important to me, is being open, honest,
Yeah.
and just being open to people so people can
Yes.
see that, you know, you may look at us and think, okay, they got this, they got it
They
together, but
got
I'm
it
saying to you, this is a struggle now.
Yeah.
That I'm pulling
We ain't
through
talking
now.
about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about
We're talking
now.
about right now.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing
the
what
struggle
was
doesn't
happening.
end immediately, but it can end.
But it can
Yes.
end,
Yes.
and I declare that it will end.
And you know what?
Yes.
I love that you said this is a struggle now,
Now.
because a lot of times people will say you can't help somebody if you're not completely out of it. But
Right.
in actuality, you can,
Yeah.
because you're processing the emotions of it, the feelings of it, the whole process of it, and you can share it with
And I can
somebody
share it.
now.
Just
Why
like
you gonna wait
now.
till you get done? They need to know how
Yeah.
you're
What I
getting
know
through it
now.
right now.
Because if you
Man.
don't share it now, they might be in such a desperate place that they might not make it to that point. So
Come
they
on,
need the
come
word
on,
now to
Ooh,
pull
that's a
out
word
of the
right there.
place
Now.
that they're in. And I'm gonna tell you, you might be feeling like you got the breath knocked out of you and you can't breathe.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you to just breathe today. Breathe, because there's help. There's
Yes.
help for your
Come on.
situation.
There is help.
Yes. And breathing, I've been on a little breath thing. I've been on a breathe, y'all. You know, inhaling deeply, relaxing in the moment, and knowing that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, knowing it.
Take a minute, because what comes with all of this is anxiety.
That's all.
And one of the ways to
that's
deal with
it.
anxiety is settling back in,
Mhm.
taking those deep breaths and those moments to say, okay,
Yeah.
And once you settle, then come on back out.
Come on.
Yeah.
Because we'll take the deep breath and we'll put scale back
Yeah.
in.
No.
And then we'll stay. Not this
Yeah.
time.
no.
This time we're gonna take the breath,
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
gonna calm,
Yeah.
and we're gonna come on back out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then this
That's
is
it.
another thing. Some days I might not feel like I can breathe. I need my sister to breathe for me.
Yeah.
that
Come
day.
on,
I
come
cannot
on.
tell you.
Come
Woo!
on.
I cannot
Can
tell
you-
you how many times I've been on the phone and I'm saying, breathe. I'm gonna tell you, right, I got like 3 or 4 phone calls this week from people that I normally wouldn't even talk to. And at least 2 of them I know I was saying, stop right now
And breathe.
and breathe.
Yeah.
And one of them just broke down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That moment right there,
Yeah.
that breath moment, is that moment where you can just say, and whatever you've been holding and wrestling with, you can just
Get it out. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Don't
you
even
need-
realize you need to release.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna wrap it, cause I know you do it. We gonna wrap it, but we want you guys to know that we love you.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage you to take a minute
Yes.
to breathe
To breathe.
and then exhale.
And exhale.
And know that it will be okay.
Yes.
You may have been affected by rejection. You may have been affected by abandonment, which throws in depression and anxiety and all this other panic and all this other stuff. And we want you to know that all these things also come in phases and stages. And so as I'm dealing with a rejection now, realizing that that's what it was and that's what it is, there were other things that happened along the way that we had to deal with. All of us have.
Yes.
You know, so we just want to encourage you that you can get through it. We don't care what you're facing. Recognize how you display those issues. What do you do that's unhealthy that shows you that you're dealing with these things?
Yeah.
And when you recognize them, then you can start taking baby steps to come out of them.
That's
Yeah.
Or if I found myself in that place again, I'm not gonna stay as long. I won't stay 6 months this time. You know, I won't stay 3 months. I won't.
I will
so
say a year.
Yeah. I won't
Yeah.
do that this time. So that's how you baby walk yourself out of it. So
Yeah.
the normal processes that you would take, and you stay in there for X amount. Now shorten it.
Yeah.
Next time, shorten it again. Eventually, you'll find yourself not going into
Yes.
those places.
Yes.
Those relationships that you could not maintain because of your own craziness. Change it. When you see yourself exhibiting behaviors that you know are unhealthy, instead of flipping out, take a breath
Take a breath.
and deal with it different. So these are just little things you can do.
Yeah. But
To
those
find
little
your
things
way
make
out.
big impact in our
Yes.
lives.
Yes.
It changes so much for
Yes.
us.
So thank you for joining us on Konnect UP. We can't keep y'all all day, but we love you guys and we appreciate you joining us. And until next time, always remember to
Connect up.
love you.